Hey everyone, welcome into another episode of Planet Coaster. Today we're going to be taking a look at the newest DLC for Planet Coaster 2, the Toy Box Pack, and also the free update, which brings back the Festive Pack from Planet Coaster 1. So I can tell you that the new DLC, I've kind of seen some people talking about it from once it's been announced, and mixed reviews. I think for some people it's a maybe a head scratcher of a choice, but I can tell you there's a ton of versatility here in terms of how these all are going to be used in your projects. As you can see, they are quite large. So here's our keeper, but I think that was an intentional design decision to make you feel like you're miniaturized inside of a children's play area or something like that when you build with this theme as it's intended. If we take a look at pieces like this, which are not gridded, you can see this is the 100% scale, and that's the 50% scale. So this is the kind of option here where I'd like to see them maybe change in the future what the starting point is of the scale, because you're already at the 100% should be more like 200 or 300%, because I don't know how many people are going to use that, right, that capacity. And I don't know if there's something in terms of difficulties with console and PC, or what the decision is, but I'd like to see maybe the 50% be the starting point at 100 and then scale down from there. Now, there is a mod out there that allows you to scale all the pieces down to, I believe it's 10%. So, obviously Frontier doesn't support mods directly. They don't stop people from using them. So use at your own risk, but certainly that would open up much more flexibility with this set in terms of how you can use it. That being said, there's a lot of really great stuff here. So one, there's lots of decals here that can be recolored and used for lots of different purposes. Something like this I could see being used like on concrete to give the illusion, asphalt, give the illusion of cracks that have been repaired, things like that. Plenty of versatility there. And then when at first glance I was really optimistic about these blocks, for example. But again, same thing. Oh yeah, sorry. Actually, these, I was thinking of a different piece. These do let you go down to 20%. So these are also going to be extremely versatile pieces. Let me bring it over to our person here. Yeah. So really, really good option there. Also, this eraser piece is one that I feel like is going to be very, very versatile. You can kind of create the look of a caster wheel, if you will, for your food carts and stuff like that. That's how the smallest amount of scale it goes down to. This pencil tip also, even at 50%, the fact that it's fully recolorable, there's going to be lots of uses there. I also love these caps, the pen lids. I think from a pillar perspective, and even the crayons and pens and all that are going to be very useful for that purpose. You can see I just took the cap here, or the lid, and recolored it, and now it could be a Corinthian column or something like that if you wanted it to be in that scale. So again, lots of really good flexibility here with a lot of these pieces. Again, the theme I think is, if you want to, unless you're like specifically trying to do kind of like a Toy Story type vibe in one of your projects, you're probably not going to find this directly useful in terms of the vast majority of these pieces. However, if you're trying to do a children's area or something like that, I think there's just lots that you can pull from in here. The one head scratcher a little bit would be that if from a ride perspective, there weren't more rides included that were kind of a kids ride nature. I know the new coaster definitely is more of a family coaster, but I'd like to see some additional family rides that are smaller in footprint from a flat ride perspective. it would have gone perfectly with this theme. So hopefully that's something we'll continue to get in the future. But I know one thing that I've been working on is a Camp Snoopy inspired area, and I haven't obviously shown anything on the channel on it yet, but I have been working on it. And you know, these decals, for example, are going to be incredibly useful for that. Not recolorable, but resizable. You've got all these stickers in here that you can do, you know, to make collages or use creatively. Unfortunately, they aren't recolorable. At least not some of them are, it looks like. So yeah, like the basic shapes and designs are, but anything with additional detail is not recolorable. So, but yeah, the squiggles and things like that. So again, additional versatility. We also have some of these little hit play here, kind of these animatronic. This is, I can't even remember what that kind of toy is called. It's that thing where you like press it and the rubber bands relax and then they tighten when you release it. But yeah, you've got this little robot, which comes in separate pieces as well with all the moving parts. You've got these as well, which thank you Frontier for, we have animatronics now that no longer have sticks up their butts. So this is also a welcome change. And in this update, as you know, the animated pieces are all scalable now. So, you know, you can make it really small or really large, depending on whatever needs you have for your project. So it comes with a base pack that looks like cardboard, which you may have picked up on in the announcement trailer. It's got the, you know, the really nice corrugated edge in there. And then in addition to all of these stickers, you get stickers that look like windows. Some of these are intended to be for the car shapes that come with the pack. Yeah, like these shapes are all the base for, you know, like children's wooden block cars. And there's a wheel that can be applied to all of them as well. And then, you know, you could put all those decals on these wooden block shapes too. And again, the wooden block shapes are completely recolorable. Pretty nice texture too. You know, I think that will be widely usable in a lot of different applications. And then obviously throwing us a bone here with some of the realism stuff as well. So you've got a stop sign decal. These are really, really great. They almost look like they're debossed here, where they're sunken into the cardboard. They also do get that look on the wooden blocks as well when you place them there. And I haven't been able to necessarily replicate it too well on some of the other, like, you know, anything that's kind of plasticky looking, it does a good job of replicating. More difficult on some of these more complex textures, but still can give that visual effect. Also, one thing that I'm extremely excited about, from, again, throwing a bone to us players who like to go for realism, is you've got this stop light here, which you'll see back here I've used, but you've got a decal for it, but then you've also got the traffic light piece, and then these, where are they? These lights can be scaled down to fit inside here, and then you can you know, recolor here. You can make that match the plastic piece, and then do our yellow. Well, it looks like I got two on top of each other. You get the idea. Here we go. All right, so now we have, and then the really awesome thing is when you go in, there seems to be a little bit of a bug with this, because when I reload the file, mine reset, but you can do night only, or you can do loop. So if you wanted to have a section of your street where the light was green or the light was red all the time, if you're, you know, using it in an actual town setting, you've got that there. Another really versatile piece that I love is this pencil fence. So this is the standard 100% size. You can see to the left, I've kind of gone in between. Here's the minimum 50% size. But then again, every single one of these is recolorable. So you can create a, you know, nice looking wooden plank fence that can be used for all kinds of different purposes. So that's an awesome addition as well. These again are all also lights that are included, and some bits and bobs and odds and ends. This is a really cool piece that I'll be curious to watch people use creatively. So is this the one that's animated? No, that is not the one that's animated. Let me find the animated one here. So there's too many little pieces. While I'm distracted, this is also really cool. Let me hit play here. Watch the googly eye when you move it. It actually moves around and then settles at the low point eventually. So eventually that will settle on the bottom, but which is really impressive bit of scenery design. It makes me wonder what other functionality they might be able to come up with for those pieces. Let me look here. Yeah, this is the piece I was looking for. It's called the Atom Screen. So it's the front of the new mascot's suit. But if you look at it, so it's got, I'll hit play. It's got all these different animations to choose from. So it's got a blink, look around, hearts. Oh, I'm upside down here. We go hearts, hearts, and then look, warning, angry look, and happy, and sad. So really cool little scenery piece there as well that is a nice nice blend of the screens that are already in the game and a piece of scenery that comes stock in the game. Also, I thought these were really, really cool. All of these special effects are awesome, cartoony looking. So the stars, you've got glitter. This rainbow one is really cool. You've got a paint splat, paint drop, little fire, like a space ray. And then this cartoon dust is really, really cool. And it does, I believe that it follows gravity, or maybe not. It's not. Some of these do, like the droplet, the paint droplet one does. This just kind of creates a little dust cloud in place. But yeah, so as you can see, lots of different stuff you can use in this set. I didn't go through and put all of the cardboard building pieces out. They've got all the ones you would expect: floors, walls, roof shapes, all in this kind of generic cardboard style. I did find some use for this. So you can see I colored this, and in my little Christmas town over here that I didn't finish in time for the video, I used the cardboard to create a little ice rink here, and kind of create the illusion of those lines you see in an ice rink when it's been frozen in place. So I'm excited to see how everyone's going to use all the different pieces in this pack. It's always awesome when you see someone's work and you're like, how did you do that? And you can see our eye has settled in place now. These clay pieces are also probably going to be widely versatile. They are recolorable. If you look at the scaling, they do shrink down quite a bit. They go down to 30%. In one of the demo videos I saw, they had recolored it to look like snow. So lots of different uses for that. We do also, it's a perfect transition, we do also have snow pieces that come in the free Festive pack as well. And what a huge upgrade to have these in this game now, where you can scale them for different purposes, and you'll see how I've used some of them in the little town over here. We also have the Christmas baubles, which are, if you are an OG Planet Coaster player, people use these in all kinds of different ways in the first game. So awesome to have them back. Plus, again, the fact that you can scale them is pretty amazing. The carolers are back. The caroler animatronics are back. You've got candy canes and lollipops, confectionaries, and things like that. With the scaling mod, you could go completely crazy if you wanted to. That's 50%. I mean, even at 10%, it's probably going to be a rather large macaron, but you know, still have the ability to maybe scale, especially like the pretzel and this pastry down to a smaller scale and add into your you know, your Parks bakery and stuff like that will be really great to have. You know, now that we have mulch pieces in the game, we don't really need this anymore, but those of you who were back around in Planet Coaster 1 will know that we used this piece, this coconut piece, as mulch, as a stand-in for mulch. So you take it and sink it into the ground, and you've got mulch for your flower beds. So still may be something that you're interested in using if you're looking for a different texture or color in your projects. This also can be a really versatile piece. You know, you change it to a darker color, maybe, especially being able to scale it. Maybe it looks like that, you know, some of those tar roofs that you see on top of buildings, you could use that piece to cover the tops of your buildings. So again, tons of different uses for all of this. Also, a very welcome back is the festive lights. And where are they? Where are the festive lights? Did I put them out here? I must not have. Well, anyway, we'll see plenty of them over here. But the icing pieces as well. So again, people who played Planet Coaster 1, these pieces were used in so many different ways. This one too. You know, you could, like this, for example, you put it vertical like this, and you know, you make your way around, and you've got a little finial for, you know, the top of a spire that you're working on. So just tons of different ways you can use this. We would even take these pieces and make custom lamps. You know, you layer multiple pieces in a row just because the LODs aren't great, and then, you know, you've got something that has some substance to it. So those are the wreath pieces are back as well. You've got these hats now that they're also rescalable. These are for the snowmen, again, for your gift shops. Plenty of uses there. Snowman pieces, these decorations here, and then the if you want to do a gingerbread house, you've got the icing trim. You also have a gingerbread wall set that comes with this pack, and then these two Christmas trees also come. You know, sadly, there's no, in the paid DLC, there aren't any new trees. I would have loved to see some new foliage, some new trees, new plants, things like that. I don't know how you would have, you know, pigeonholed those into a toy theme, but I would really, really like to see some additional foliage in the game. In fact, I would pay for a gardener's pack DLC or something like that that's just full of trees and plants and flowers, and, you know, props like wheelbarrows and, you know, garden carts and things like that. I would love to see something like that in the future of the game. And even something, you know, one thing we'll look at the weather that came in the update as well in a minute. I would love, I don't expect, you know, these trees, if you change the weather to winter, to like go to, you know, just the stems and lose the leaves or anything like that. But it would be nice to have just a couple of dead trees. Even like in Planet Zoo, there's a few dead trees that you can use as part of the scenery, and having something like that would have been great, because you can see as we scroll through my little Christmas town here, I tried to use the sticks from the boxwood set to create my own little deciduous tree without any leaves on it, and then I was going to loop around the fairy lights on them and try to make them decorated as well. So, you know, even more sticks, if they don't want to give us dead trees, even more sticks where we can attempt to kind of create some trees without any leaves on them for winter scenes and things like that. So with that, let's take a look at the weather changes. So we have, go down here. So one of the updated changes, so this is all we had in the past, I believe. No, we had heavy rain. So you have your light rain, you have heavy rain, which the clouds get a little darker, I would love it if this was the default for the snow in terms of the cloud cover. Because you'll see my one criticism of the snow when we look at that weather is that it's far too bright. It is almost like a full sunny day when it's snowing, where I would rather the sky look like this. So if that's one tweak that they could make in an update, I would love to see that. So here's your heavy rain, wind, snow. Let's go to thunderstorms real quick. So thunderstorms, even this is improved upon in terms of what the snow looks like. So you can see the snow is almost completely sunny out, and yet we've got the snow falling. The other ask, that I would love to see is you can see the snow does a wonderful job of reacting to the scenery. So it does collect on the scenery, and it only collects on surfaces that are, where they would collect on the vertical surfaces, or excuse me, horizontal surfaces. And then if they're at a pitch or an angle, something completely vertical, it doesn't adhere to. And it also blocks the ground underneath it from getting snow on it, which is really impressive. And then you can see over here, everywhere else does get the snow collecting. I would like to see in Planet Zoo, the snow collected much more on the ground than this. You can see there's a little bit of it here. So to me, that tells me the code is built into the game. I would just like to see these be more covered with snow. So you can see down here, I took the liberty of, I'm gonna hit pause real quick. I took the liberty of adding some additional snow. And you can see one cool thing is the moss decals, when you put them down, they collect the snow. So that is one way you could go about getting the snow to stick, so to speak, on the sidewalks, is by putting either the snow scenery down or some of the moss decals, because the snow does react to that. I also think you could do, if you did, let's go to flat roofs here, and some of the textures of roof that look like, that's the castle. Yeah, so like even the castle is just stones. So you could, if you did your pathways in that, instead of the actual paths, you can see it's going to react, and now you'll have a snow covered path. So, it looks like I said, it looks like the functionality's there. I'm not a game developer, so I don't know, but those are the only two complaints I have with the snow. Is the sky is not nearly dark enough. Like, compare it to heavy rain. Oh, you gotta hit play. Compare it to heavy rain is even a little bit darker, and then sunny day. So anyway, you can see I caught the Christmas bug here, and wanted to, let's go down in first person. Wanted to create kind of like an idealized, little downtown main street here with shops and restaurants, and all decked out for Christmas. I do want to thank a couple of creators here. Let me see. I wrote them down so I wouldn't mess them up. So the trolley, this amazing trolley, and I'll put links in the description below. This amazing trolley is by Mr. Moose. The cars are by Bela Lugosi, I think. Lugosi. And then I was going to look at, the bins. That's what the other one was. The bins are by Lion. And those are part of a full set over there that I pulled from and used in this little main street here. Back. All right, and I'll hit play again. So I went, pretty heavy with some of the festive stuff here. I really love this building that's wrapped up like a present. You've got wreaths everywhere. The bows are actually the drapery set that comes in the game. So that's a really nice way because the bows that come with the festive pack are this one and that one up there. And they're a little bit plastic looking. And so if you want more of like a fabric bow look, these ones really do the trick with the drape set. And then, always love that look of of wreaths hanging from the tops of windows and centered on the window like that. Yeah, I think this is actually something that I've been looking to do for a while. You can see here we got our green lights on. I was going to say this is something that I've been looking to do for a while. In Planet Coaster 1, I had a fun fair project that was based in a little small town, like your seasonal fun fair, and I had the main street and everything like that. It's something that I really enjoy building and doing. And so this is something that this won't be the last you see of this. All of these things I made with the intention of using them in a project at some point in time. And I definitely will. So, very pleased, especially with the cornice on this one with those wreaths and garlands and stars. I wish this little town actually existed. I think it looks really, really cool. Let me go to nighttime here. Let's see. We go there. Yeah, let's go all the way. Yeah, the snow effects itself are really, really good. It looks great, I think. I just wish it collected on the ground a little more and the sky was a little bit darker. But yeah, this is my little Christmas village here. And you got our town tree. You can see that the twinkle lights come in solid state and twinkle. And also come in like draped like this. And then they come in bigger swoops too. I don't think I have any of those like that anywhere else, but and then you can see I've got the traffic lights here set to loop on red and green. So now my traffic lights are actually looking realistic, which this is like this. Honestly, of all the things, this blows my mind because we would have killed for this in Planet Coaster 1 to have this functionality. So anyway, overall, I would say that, the toy pack, if we were further in development, let me change the time back. If we were further in development and there were a lot of DLCs out already, I would rank this one in like maybe wait for a Steam sale type of DLC. But since we really only have one other DLC, I would buy this. I think it's worth the money, especially with the versatility of all of the different pieces that we have here. Plus the new rides that come with the pack and the DLC. I mean, even just the Vector coaster and the new FNN Thriller Kid coaster, the high roll for the flat rides. The airdrop is one. Let's take a look at that real quick. Let me change our weather back. It's glitching out on me when I'm doing this. There we go. All right, let's look at right here. So again, it's pretty large. I don't necessarily have issues with the height. I think that it's like compare it to some of the other tower rides. Like it's from a height standpoint. Like I don't really have any issues, honestly. It's more of, I don't know why it does that. Maybe it's a setting I need to turn off. Yeah, I don't have any issues with the height. It's more of just how chunky it is. And I know that there is an actual one that looks like this in real life. But it would have been nice to see one that's a little more slender. I think I've gone back and forth on this if I think it's something that I would use in a legit project. And I think I would, and mostly because the height is not outrageous. I think it's something you could use in your projects. And so just rides alone, I would say this is a pack worth picking up now. If we had more DLCs to pick from and you were just trying to be choosy about which ones, I would say it's probably a wait for a sale type of DLC. But since this is really only the second one, I would absolutely pick it up. I think it's worth your money and worth the versatility of all these pieces, and plus having the extra rides in the project. So I can't wait to see what all of you do in this and how you use all these pieces creatively. You know, I'm always the person that is going to want more scenery no matter what. More versatility, more scenery is always the name of the game for me. So I'm thrilled to have more stuff for us to use in our digital Legos here. And like I said, I'm definitely going to be continuing to work on this. Is not the last you're going to see of this project here. So hope you all are having a wonderful holiday season. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to the folks at Frontier for letting me check this out early, and for all their hard work getting the game to the state that it's in today. You compare them to a lot of other developers that are out there, and really, really wonderful job of kind of riding the ship after a little bit of a rocky launch to the game, and they deserve a break off here for the holidays, and they deserve all of our gratitude for getting this game on solid footing, and can't wait to see what they do in 2026. So thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.